Okay,
Very good.
And you have volume.
there's one.
Over there, go to the next
Guess
one.
I had to let Jill in.
Hi.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Or you can just turn your volume up on your.
Hi, everybody. Hello, Jackson. Hi, Mary Ruth.
Hi, Jill.
Back. Oh, Larry's got some new awesome pictures up.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. He's getting himself Larry, I like your background. Pretty awesome there.
Yeah, where are you?
You're gonna have to unmute yourself and to tell us.
I lost it all.
That's in New Mexico. It's the Ashishaha Wilderness. You gotta drive 20 miles down a dirt road to get to it.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And I was by myself. It was pretty spooky.
Oh, wow.
You have to be careful of washout holes that are underneath the soil. You can fall into a hole.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay. Did you have a four-wheel drive car for that?
No, didn't need
No?
to, I just used the standard van to get to the parking location. The thing is there's no documentation. I didn't know if there would be parking. I had a GPS location to get to the starting point. As it turns out, they have put a parking location in. But
Okay. Cool.
I saw the pictures on the internet last year sometime and said, I want to try to go there. And
So you just went there by yourself. That was not part of your organized trip.
correct.
And where are you venturing very soon on an organized trip?
Oh, back in Utah, the San Rafael Swell and Canyonlands, Maze area.
What was the first place?
San Rafael Swell.
Oh, okay. I have lots of places to learn about, I think.
We all do, Jill.
It's right next to Gonlin State Park, which is another really unique area that you have to see if you're out there.
What state park? Could you spell it maybe?
Goblin State
Okay.
Park.
Okay. I've not heard of those things.
It made it into a Star Trek episode.
Luke, you must know about that then.
I'm sure I do somewhere in the recesses of my mind. I'll have to do a mind meld with Jim and he'll fill me in.
Well, that's cool. Anybody been somewhere a little closer than that lately? That's cool. Great hike.
I was in the Catskills again last weekend.
And what were you hiking there, Lou?
We did slide. I had done it before, but you need to do it twice for the 3,500 club.
Slide.
And it was
not-
an
you mean
incredibly
a
warm day.
different- A different slide than the high peak slide?
No, it's the slide, and that's the highest mountain in the Catskills.
Well, there's one in the Adirondacks.
I'm thinking a big slide.
Oh, you're thinking the Adirondacks. This
Yes.
is in the Catskills.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't
But
know about,
Jill, it is a 4,000 footer and
Yep.
New York State's got 48 peaks.
There's two in the Catskills.
oh gosh, so I'm wearing my Adirondack High Peak shirt tonight. And I think maybe I'll
Okay.
have to draw a couple new boxes at the bottom and add those. What are the
There you go.
two that I need to add? Slide.
Hunter and slide.
Oh, I've done Hunter. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So that counts as Adirondack High Peaks when they're in the Catskills?
No, I'm doing the Catskill 35 and
Okay,
I'm very close to that, but that also, I'm working on the New England 115 and those two in the Catskills, because over 4,000 feet count towards New England 115,
okay.
which is all the peaks over 4,000 feet.
Is that why you do it twice?
No, I do it twice because it's Catskill 3,500 club. To achieve that, there's 35 peaks, although that just recently changed, but I'm not going to get into that. You do the 35 peaks, and then they want you to do 4 of those again in the winter. It's a very odd
Oh, okay.
ruling, but I like doing them in the winter, so that's not a problem for me. I'll probably go back and do a bunch in the winter and get the Catskill winter 35 as well.
Vacancy.
Well, speaking of patches, I mean, now I want to tell, let's see, we are
Okay, you want-
7:01. I guess more
I
people will
don't
be
think you
coming,
can.
but
We just,
you're working towards all those different quests. And on the board meeting this month, they were talking about next year will be 100 year celebration for the Adirondack Mountain Club. It'll be the centennial celebration, and they're planning some different things. One of the things they are planning is a patch that you can earn for hiking 100 miles in 100 days. And I think that it's basically a challenge from, like, I don't know, Memorial Day to Labor Day, Dave? Is that the 100 days maybe?
Whatever, starting at Memorial Day.
Something
I don't
like
think
that.
it's all fleshed out yet, but that's
Yeah.
one of the ideas.
100 miles just in the Adirondacks?
I
think it could
think
be
that
anywhere,
might
but
be
it's-
able to
That's
be
easy.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Did you say,
Yeah.
did you say, Jill, 100 miles in 100 days?
100 miles in 100 days. Another challenge, I think
Luke
there-
hikes that in a weekend.
oh, it should be nothing then, I tell you.
Yeah,
Another possible challenge that I think they're planning a few 100-mile hikes that are, backpacking trips and other trips.
Good.
So right, it is not all fleshed out yet, but these are things to look forward to.
they can
and
get in touch with our new trail co-chair who's working on those multi-day backpacking trips.
That's right. Is he here tonight?
Absolutely.
There, is it Jim Miller?
Yep,
Yes.
that's me.
Yep. All
I'm
right.
ready.
Welcome, Jim. Hi,
Thanks.
Bruce. Hi, Bill, James, Ross, Patrick,
I see
Ryan.
Marcia is trying
Hi.
to recruit younger members.
Yeah.
That's right. Ah.
Excellent.
Hey,
Hi,
Ro-
Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
hey, how you doing? Like I know
Good, how
half
are
of you.
I bet you do.
I get to see what people's homes look like.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can you see my, those are my grow lights back there for my plants that I am seeding.
Mm.
Have a
You growing
nice,
some pot now that it's legal?
we could tell from purchasing the lights that most people buy these lights for pot and not for growing seedlings for their garden, but mine are all perennials and vegetables.
Dave is very lenient, but he put his foot down on that.
He's been supporting my habit pretty well, but
Hey, guess what? This weekend I found out that one of our own is on the 18th.
Who's that?
who's that?
Yeah, Pete Shambo.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's, oh gosh, 30 days in. I don't know how many, I think he said 165
Do you know
miles.
if he has a blog or anything?
Yeah, and what I thought I'd do is he's got a YouTube channel for it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's putting a YouTube video up every day.
Okay.
So I'll send it out to the trails email
Yeah,
list.
I
With
remember Pete well. I would love to see him on the trail.
Yeah,
Larry, could you repeat his name? So if we wanted to look it up, we could?
it's Pete Shambo.
SHAMBO.
But he's got a logo for the YouTube channel, and I just did a search and found it. Let me go find it. Now I'll get back to you there. Let's see.
Larry, that background is very cool.
I love it,
I-
and
I do too. I could consider replacing my grow light with something like that, and it might be kind of nice.
oh dear.
I guess if I'm going to put it behind me, maybe I should have been there. So, but I have been in a lot of beautiful places, so I'm sure I could find an appropriate photo.
I'm sure you could.
Okay, well, what's anybody else been hiking?
Well,
mean,
we hiked a few miles of the FLT on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I see Dave Harrison there too. And, you know, this was part of Beth Wheeler's FLT maintenance crew. Boy, about a dozen people showed up, Dave, I think about that number. And
something
boy,
like
just a
that. It's a
beautiful
good
day.
turnout.
And because it was and because it was so early in the season and there was hardly any growth, I mean, I just had my hand pruners out, and I just every so often would, you know, snip back a little sticker bush, but otherwise just had a lovely walk in the woods.
Same here. It was almost just a walkthrough, but give it another month or two when the weeds come up. Then, if you don't get after it with pruners and weed whackers, the trail in some places can absolutely disappear. Get so overgrown.
well, that sounds really nice. I would have loved to have gone on that, but Dave and I were lucky enough to attend the Adirondack Mountain Club board meeting right in our living room on that beautiful Saturday. Just want you to know we're doing our
That's
duty.
dedication, Joe.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's why we weren't there, why I wasn't there.
I spent Saturday morning planting trees at Buckland Park in Brighton.
Oh, nice.
The
Who's
town, yeah,
doing that?
tiny little trees, like 3 feet, little sticks, but we planted 70 trees Saturday morning.
Oh, awesome.
That's great.
Was that Brighton Town or what?
It was George Smith, who's the biology teacher at the high school, sort of organized it, but with help from the town. And I think the Rotary Club donated the trees.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Were students involved?
There were a couple of students there. There were about 14 people helping out.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I am expecting, if you join the Arbor Day Foundation, joining it gets you to acquire 10 free trees plus a free red maple tree. So I am awaiting my 10 red bud trees to spread around the community for some beauty,
There you go.
but they're not here yet. I'm sure they're just a stick also.
Yeah.
Just a,
Red Bud's a
Maybe
nice choice. Nice choice.
yeah. Well, I'm from Indiana and the red bud tree is the state tree there. So I just always appreciate a nice red bud tree.
And that's why we
And-
have one in our backyard.
Yes, in fact, that was the theme of the women's hike this last week. We went to Highland Park and hiked hills and just went to see all the flowering trees. The trees are gorgeous right now everywhere. All the we saw this week that the magnolias on Oxford Street are opening up, and that's a fabulous
Wow.
drive that I love to take at this time of year. So if you have a chance to be downtown and can check out the magnolias on Oxford Street, now's the time.
Yeah, the cherry trees out in front of the Lamberton Conservatory at Highland Park are just amazing. I don't know whether or not this is just like a super year for the blooms or something, but boy, they're really, really gorgeous trees. If you have a chance to get over to the park there, it's well worth it. It's really shining this year.
I agree. I think things are looking fabulous everywhere. Anybody else spotted beautiful blooming trees?
I was in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago for the cherry blossoms around the tidal basin.
Oh,
Really a
love
treat
that.
to be able to.
that's
And they were
great.
just a little past bloom, so every time the wind blew, the petals would all fall down like all around us. It was kind of a sweet day.
Awesome. And this week's women's hike is also going to do the Arboretum at Durand Eastman to catch more of those flowering trees in bloom.
That's a good idea.
Don't want to miss the blooms, so trying to navigate. I did try to check out Daffodil Meadow this week at Powder Mill Park, but it was pretty deep in slosh, so I didn't make it to the meadow.
Probably past its prime. I was there about a week ago, and it was nice. Kind of
Okay,
rainy, but they were in full bloom.
okay. I feared that it was going to be past the time. So
By the way, am I the only one who thinks that that spring is incredibly early this year, like 2-3 weeks early.
Yeah.
It is.
It went right from winter, went from like a tough winter to spring overnight. And overall, it's been pretty nice.
It's been beautiful.
It's really pretty amazing. I mean, you know, I don't know whether or not this is another aspect of climate change or not, but and I certainly hope we don't have a hard freeze coming up anytime soon, which knowing Rochester, that can happen. I mean, I still have pictures of my little kid in the backyard on Mother's Day playing in the snow many years ago. So we know that these anomalous events can occur, and I just sure hope that we don't have a deep freeze that nips all these flowers.
Well, I agree. I think it's quite early, and I'm loving every bloom of it.
Yeah, Bill. I don't,
What is it, Jackson?
could you hear me, Jill?
No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just heard you say Bill.
I don't know what's happened to my audio.
No, we can hear you now.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to corroborate what Bill was suggesting, because every year Shirley and I mark the approximate date of our daughter's birthday during the first week of May, with trees locally breaking bud into leaves. And here we are, 3 to almost 4 weeks premature, and it's already happening. So Bill, you're right on the money with your commentary.
Now, I just joined in, so I don't know what you were talking about except for weather. But when we were just up in the Adirondacks, and one of my dreams after finishing the 46 was to hike to spots that I had to rush past before. We went up to Rainbow Falls and took a picture of the falls actually with water on it and a big chunk of ice still there.
Yeah.
Came home and checked my pictures from when we did the hike to Sawtooth. And Rainbow Falls was totally frozen at that time. And that was on March 28th, 2015. We went up on March 31st this year, and it's flowing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, to see those two pictures side by side, it's crazy.
That's a beautiful spot, isn't it?
It is. It was nice to be able to just sit there for a while and not say, hurry on, climbing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
No
special.
snowshoes needed either.
And no snowshoes needed, right? But we did need our ice micro spikes
Yeah.
for the, for
Yeah, I
us.
ran into snow about 3,800 feet last weekend in the Catskills, but it wasn't bad. We used microspikes for a while, but definitely no snowshoes. And there's been incredible melt there in the last, say, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
The forecast I saw tonight for the Adirondacks was 3 inches of snow expected.
Yeah. Does that mean you're going up there, Reinhardt?
Oh, it's got to get to be at least a foot before I think about it.
I'm up there now.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Who's up there now?
Magic.
Ryan is.
Oh,
He's using one of those screensavers.
That's right.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty awesome.
Better than the plain white I had before.
What's
I taught myself a new
peak
skill.
behind you, Ryan? Do you know?
Oh, this was from, we were on Saranac Haystack. So I think this is facing south-ish toward the Great Range-ish.
Okay,
Nice.
great. How many people are working on the 46 right now? Or some, Sarah, you are? Yes.
Katie is.
And
Ryan is.
And
Ryan.
Katie,
Mm-hmm.
Joyce.
Joyce. All right.
I'd say
I'm done.
I'm in the middle of it, but I don't know if I'm really going to become a 46er.
Yeah.
So,
How many people are 46ers?
yeah, how many people are
There's quite a
46ers?
few on this call.
Oh, wow.
I am.
Yeah.
Nice.
I applaud all of you. Congratulations. That's very cool.
You know, Jill, you can stop whenever you want, okay? You can stop whenever you want and it'll be okay.
Bill can attest that it's okay to stop at 39.
I'm a proud 39er, okay? And I'm probably gonna stay.
Bill, I'm
Right.
still working on
So
getting you a
feel free to
Sherpa. I
stop
want
when
you to know
want, and
that.
it's okay by me.
I love hearing that too. Yep.
22. I'm a 22er.
And stop.
That might be his friend Bill.
Just the good ones, not the
Oh,
bad.
there's Reinhardt.
Sue, it was difficult to hear you. You said you're a 22er?
I stopped with the good ones, the best ones.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay, so does anybody have any good hikes coming up or trips coming up that are in the near future?
Somebody's,
I've got that,
Zoom
Jill,
call.
I've got
Oh.
that 4-day backpack in May that's been advertised. We're
Right.
gonna do a section of the Appalachian Trail. So far, I've got 2 people signed up for it, and I've got room for 3 more.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you
Reinhardt,
about that,
Tell us
Reinhardt.
a little bit more about that. It's how
Well,
far?
we're gonna hike. We're gonna start at the Delaware Water Gap. The hike is from a Wednesday to Saturday. I forget the exact dates. I think it's from
July.
from May 19th to the 22nd.
Seriously,
Oh,
you
But
can
we'll
do that.
start at the Delaware Water Gap
You're
and
fit enough.
hike to High Point State Park. Basically, it's a hike along the AT in New Jersey. It's, I think, over the course of the 4 days, it's about 43 miles and a little over 6,000 feet total climbing elevation. There's no major peaks that we're going over, but once we get on that ridge, that Kittatinny Ridge, there'll be some nice viewpoints along there.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, so anybody that's interested, fire me an email and, I've got a more detailed itinerary that I'm happy to share with folks. But fire
Okay.
me an email if you might be interested in that hike.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll spread the word on my hike tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Right, Reinhard, about 15, 20 years ago, we hiked part of the AT in High Point State Park. And before we began the hike, we spoke to a ranger who warned us about the possibility of copperheads along the trail. Did you have that problem when you did your hike on the AT?
I did not, Jackson. I did not. And I'm surprised they're as far north as New Jersey. I knew they were down south, but I started my hike in February, as you're gonna learn from my presentation, and it was still pretty cold. I didn't see any rattlesnakes or any copperheads. I know the copperheads can get pretty nasty. They say they'll chase you right down the trail.
Yeah.
if you come across one of them.
Oh
That's
my God.
that's exactly what that ranger said to us. And Shirley was leading our party of, I think, 8 or 10 of us. And of course, in much of that section of the trail, the grass, which is, I don't know, 6 to 8 to 10, maybe or more inches tall, comes literally right up to the edge of the path that's worn right through the trail, or right through the grassland. And the path was in many places, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 inches wide. So if a snake had been lurking along the edge, you wouldn't have had much time to respond. Shirley wasn't too pleased about leading that, but I was very comfortable bringing up the rear with my camera.
Good thing there's nobody on this call afraid of snakes. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson, thank you for promoting my hike.
Well, anytime, anytime, Reinhard.
I'm out.
So Gary, have you been doing any cool hikes?
Gary who?
Nothing real interesting. I went up Bristol Mountain for some heavy backpack training on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was rewarded with a $5 bill and an iPhone I found underneath the chairlift.
Wow.
Oh, God.
So
That was my address.
I do have, I signed up for a guided trip to Mount Elbrus the end of July.
Okay.
And we're gonna find out in the next 2 weeks from the guide service whether it's canceled or not. Right now, travel to Russia is shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that trip's gonna fall through. I don't think that's gonna happen for me this year. So I gotta come up with some alternative plans. Maybe a little taste of the AT with Reinhard.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you, on some of your trips like that, did you ever run across a gentleman by the name of Tim Wilson?
That name doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah. All right. He's a friend of mine who does all those same kinds of things. I know that he went to Elbrus, Rainier, and some of the other ones like that. So I'm just curious because he lived in Rochester for a while. So I didn't know if we had run into him.
No. Yeah, there's a bunch of guide companies that do the 7 summits and things like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, the only other thing I did, I finished Reinhard's second book just last week. I thought it was really good, Reinhard. It was just really really interesting, the whole thing.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate that feedback. Oh, Jill, you got a copy too.
Yes, it just came in the mail today. So I wanted to show you all. I have Reinhard's book. I didn't get the first one, Reinhard. I held off.
Well,
And
you,
so I just got this arrived today, and Reinhard's going to be our speaker tonight. So that's a little early for the introduction, but
He'll
anyway.
sign it, and it's very cheap to get him to sign it. Jill,
Oh,
just
great
so you know.
idea.
Gary, I'll give you your $5 later for those kind comments.
Hey, Reinhard, if we manage to schedule a picnic for the club, would you be able to sign books at the picnic? Is that a good idea?
As Luke said, my signatures are cheap, so happy to do that.
Well, he better be available because he'll be selling his books from the bookstore table, right, Reinhard?
That's right.
You got it, Jackson.
He'll
Okay.
be in demand.
You and I will collaborate.
That's right.
Sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
And Jackson sells these shirts at the bookstore table also.
We can do that, Jill.
Yeah. So it's a great shirt. It's one of my favorites.
Are you working on a picnic for this summer?
We are talking about a picnic. Bill Lindenfilzer has the idea for a picnic this summer. We'd like to, there's a committee that's going to be talking about it next week. We're looking for a date and trying to figure out what is the best way to do that safely. We're thinking of potentially a get together at Mendon Ponds and trying to decide if the exact location and whether we can have food there or whether people need to bring their own, and how we need to do it to be safe. So I guess I could ask this question, how many people who are present have had the vaccine? Let's see. How many people, I don't see too many people who have not had the vaccine. Could we try that? Maybe 2, maybe don't want to say, that's okay. Well, I think there are going to be lots of vaccinated people, and so that might facilitate the happening of this picnic. I'm kind of speaking a little ahead of time, but I just want to get you excited about a picnic.
Yeah, luckily we've got somebody on the committee who knows his epidemiology, so he's going to help us understand what is safe to do. So, we're really going to make sure that safety here is a primary concern and the like. But as we all know, the vaccination situation is changing very rapidly right now. And I'm certainly hoping that over the course of, say, the next 2 months or so, we'll be at a point where a very large number of our membership can participate in something like this. And it would certainly be great just to have a chance to get together. I mean, we've lost over an entire year of meetings. And I think it's just over a full year meeting, chat with people, even if it's from 6 feet away. But it would just be a wonderful event. So at any rate, we're working on this, and like Jill said, it's just a few simple but necessary details that have got to be worked out. But it would be along the lines of a potluck or bring your own food kind of event. I'm not making my world famous chili for this event, so I'm sorry, you're gonna have to do without that. But more information will be forthcoming.
Hi, Shay.
Yeah, hi Shay.
Reinhardt, is that your wife I see on the call?
Yeah, I think she said she threatened to Zoom in. She was going to hassle me at the end.
Excellent. Bill and I will hassle you during the program, okay?
Okay. Hiya, Paul. Paul and Jim. Jim Pond, I see you're in. Paul, nice to see you.
Hi there, Reinhardt. I thought you might enjoy seeing me here today. Good evening. Good. I'll look forward to hearing from your adventure after seeing you off at a retirement party and taking off for the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, I've got a lot of stories. I can bore you for hours, Jim.
All right, bore away.
So Reinhardt, I never saw any copperheads down near there, but I did have a run-in with a rattlesnake down around Port Jervis on the New York side.
Okay. Yeah, they're out there.
Oh yeah,
They're out there.
I understand this one took a chomp out of my boot too before I saw him.
Oh, good thing you were wearing boots, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy behind me I turned around to say something to him and he was just sort of pointing at my feet and stammering. And I looked down and he was all coiled up, ready for a second shot at me.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know I could jump that high.
Are you allowed to kill them?
No, they're protected.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you can claim self-defense.
I was gonna say, I'm not one to kill too many things,
Well,
but
that shot.
I don't know, a snake attacking me, I think I'd be tempted.
They really don't want any part of you, the
No, they
rattlesnakes.
don't.
It's just if you surprise them and you get that close and they feel threatened, that they will react. But normally they don't want any part of you.
Well, that's what I tell kids about the bees and the, the things that sting, but anyway.
The thing you can say about bees though is they don't attack the first person, they attack the second and third and fourth person.
You have to provoke them.
That's right.
I am delighted to see that the bees and the pollinators are all waking up this week, that I have seen numerous ones out doing their work, pollinating. So I think it's fine to clean up the brush that we haven't cleaned up, that we've been saving for them, for their homes. And it's okay to rake now. We've had enough warm days for them to wake up, and it's time to get to work.
They have been busy around my place.
Yes. I guess that was one thing last year with the pandemic is I did a lot of watching of hummingbirds and bees pollinating my flowers and even hummingbird moths. I got some great pictures of this still life happening,
Okay, folks, it's about 7:30. So I think